three-point game, I guess, and John Tell doesn't get the foul call, and then Joe puts it back. There's also no foul call. Did you kind of perceive that to be a turning point in the game?
I think, when you're in a game where it's a lower scoring game and possessions really matter, whether it's a turnover on our part or what you perceive as maybe one of your guys got fouled that wasn't called, or we forget, we just make the wrong situation. We're not supposed to trap post, but one of our guy comes, leaves an open three to start the half. Those possessions, they really hurt and they sting. So yeah, that's probably why I was very animated, because I thought, I'll watch the tape. I thought our guy got bumped, and so I thought, boy, that was big. But again, if you look at the stat sheet, the telltale number is those 18 turnovers in a game with this many or this few possessions. That's 18 times we don't get a chance to get a shot. And we shot 50%, but again, our three-point shooting was poor, and we got some real good looks too, and they're starting to certainly jam up the lane. And without Joe, we don't have as much of a threat up there right now. With Sammy struggling to shoot it, John Tell's not a three-ball shooter, and Malcolm is, he's doing some good things as a freshman, but that's not right now his strength. So it's a hard lineup, and it really condenses things. But we've got to keep figuring out ways to do it. So again, those turning points are significant, or every possession you feel it a little more.
Even at 48-41, you had 48-41. You had 3 straight turnovers.
Yes.
Well, was there a common thread to the turnovers? Carelessness, or
they made a couple good plays, but we were trying to sometimes feed the post, just unattended passes. Probably. I can't remember if all 3. We talked about it at halftime. We wrote that on the board, the ability to value the ball, sureness, make hand-to-hand passes, try to move them hard. And look at I think, Malcolm had 4. I got to look at it. But, yeah, some of it was carelessness, and some of it was certainly active defense by Clemson.
Was there in the second half, it seemed like Joe didn't have any problems catching the ball in the second. He just missed some open shots.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have reason to think that as he gets more accustomed to playing that way, that
yeah, I hope he'll get used
more
to
effective?
it. And I hope if his head, it can stay without displacing or whatever, then they can maybe, every week, cut that thing down a little bit. So that's, but he'll battle hard for it. I think a couple of those turnovers were clearly because of, you could see it, because of his hand. He had a heck of a one-handed rebound. I'll give him that on the end there. I kind of chuckled at that. But it certainly affects him. We got him some looks, but he'll get used to that. He'll get better, and it's the best we can do. I'm just thankful he could get out there and give us some minutes, but he wasn't himself, and I didn't expect him to be.
John Tell.
You want to give him a look off the bench tonight rather than start?
Well, the reason why is he couldn't practice yesterday. It's still pretty fresh from when he fractured it, and it was very painful yesterday. And at shoot-around, we didn't do a whole lot with it, so we wanted him to warm up really hard and see how it was, and we had to put the starters in, and I didn't get enough of a feel or a word from him yet, so we said we'll just start with Malcolm. Gave us a nice start, and that's why I brought him in off the bench, and it was starting to get sore as the game wore on, and that was kind of the reason why it went that way. But it's that when we have when it's Malcolm and John Tell and Sammy right now and Akil, it's not we can't stretch the defense, or it's an offensive team that they can kind of really corral around Mike or make things a little challenging for us, and that you could see that as the game went on.
Sammy didn't take a shot in the second half. Did you feel he was passing shots up, or just?
I don't think he passed. Maybe one he might have, but they played pretty good defense on him. But he hit one. He got some good looks to watch the tape. Maybe one, but again, he had a hard time getting by that guy, and he's trying to be a team guy. I think sometimes when your shot is struggling a little bit, if you don't feel it, make the next pass.
If there's a silver lining, what about John Tell's offensive performance?
Yeah, we're always looking for that third scorer. Well, we got it in John Tell, but we didn't have it. If it was, but
you
John
didn't have the
Tell
second scorer.
Right, we didn't have a second scorer. That's what I was saying. But no, John Tell got to the lane. Certainly, he made some plays at the end of the game. But he's improving. He really is, and he's making pretty good decisions. And he's so powerful and quick that he can get to the lane. And he's worked on his touch and trying to create playing those guys a lot of minutes, and we're trying to be mindful of that, but it's what we have, we gotta keep trucking.
What do you thought they were able to do against Scott? Because he seemed like Mike had a lot tougher looks tonight than he had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I think, we shot the ball better at Virginia. We stretched it out that way. I think we were from 3. I think Joe was in
5 to 6.
5 to 6 that game. We had a little more action going where they had to be mindful of that. And they also didn't have Jennings, who's, he's an athletic long defender. They either had to guard him with Baichu, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it, and then whoever else. So it allowed Mike to either move a little bit away from the basket, have a little more space on a shot, or even get more touches inside, because they had to be mindful of our perimeter shooting. And I think when that changed with the addition of Jennings athletically to guard him some, and then our personnel, I thought they could be more attentive to him. And then our turnovers, this 18, who knows, maybe that's another 5 or 6 opportunities for him to get some touches, but we didn't. With that many turnovers, we didn't have that opportunity.
Time for 2 more, Coach.
Tony, this is obviously a critical stretch of the season. Do you feel like with so few options in terms of players that there's really a limit to how much you can shake things up or try differently at this point?
It's challenging in the back end of our schedule's tough. The team certainly that we're playing, we've been on the road, so there's every game out is going to be a battle. But with the injury to Joe and just the numbers we have, there's we can try different rotations, but there's some challenges there. But we'll keep working at it, and we've still got some good basketball left in us. I know that.
Last
About
question.
Devin Booker's second half.
Yeah, he was, he took advantage of us getting a little worn down. I thought, he was real physical, ducked in hard, and his physicality showed. I thought he was really a man out there, and made a play with his 3 offensive rebounds. Again, we didn't give up as many offensive rebounds, but the 2 or 3 were very costly to us if we were going to try to at least stay attached and be in that game. But I thought he certainly did a nice job, and credit goes to them. They played a good game.
Thank you, Coach.